this doesn't have to be the way it is. You don't have to do it alone. You're not alone. And also, we can change this. Violence against women is not limited to actual physical violence. It is also about how we deal with it and how we talk about it in the media and in our culture.
I fucking was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
People say, well, why would she make this up? I think it's really clear. She's doing this for leverage in the divorce. If Johnny Depp were to be convicted of domestic violence, the court could actually prolong the period of spousal support.
What have you lost as a result of Ms. Heard making these allegations against you?
Nothing less than everything.
On February 2015, Amber and Johnny tie the knot in a small ceremony on his private island in the Bahamas. The wedding is attended by Amber's friends and family and a small circle of Johnny's. Reportedly, Johnny's family was skeptical about Amber. In these pictures, captured by Radar Online, the only person by Johnny's side is his son, Jack.
I fought for that wedding. We had that wedding. Beautiful wedding. For what? If we don't...
Amber Heard that I knew for the first year and a half was not this suddenly this opponent.
The marriage
I promise you.
worked so hard to make happen. It's like meaningful.
Don't talk about making the wedding happen. Talk about the 4 years you spent, please. She had become my opponent, and everything that I did, she didn't accept it.
I want the security back. I freak out. I cannot make normal decisions, calm decisions.
1 month later, on March 8th, when Johnny is in Australia filming the 5th installment of the Disney franchise Pirates of the Caribbean, the trial reveals that Amber would fly there to confront him about his lawyers engaging her about a post-nuptial agreement.
When you and Ms. Heard got married, did you have a prenuptial agreement in place?
No, we did not. No. There always seemed to be some reason or another why she wouldn't discuss it, or if we did discuss it, it would springboard into unpleasantness and then arguments.
What happened when Ms. Heard came to visit you in Australia?
Ms. Heard was upset because, as it was too late for a prenup agreement, I had called my lawyer at the time and asked him if he could have one of his lawyers sit down with Ms. Heard and give her a basic rundown of what a postnuptial agreement meant. And Ms. Heard told me that the attorney that she met with had laughed at her and was rude and dismissive. All she was being shown was an example of postnuptial agreement, which sent her into a tailspin. So by the time she arrived in Australia, that was sunk very deep into her psyche. So much so that what really surprised me was that she kept saying, "I'm not even in your will. I'm not even in your will." I thought that was an odd thing to say.
And in a fit of anger, during this confrontation, Amber would hurl vodka bottles at Johnny, severing the tip of his finger.
And she could not let go of the fact that I was in on this post-nup agreement and that I was trying to trick her. So I just told her those were not my intentions. She was irate. She was irate and she was possessed. It wasn't nice being called an ass-kisser to lawyers or a pussy that didn't fight for her or stand up for her.
You do not fight for me, and then you want to sit here and make me sound so terrible to be around.
Fight for you?
You don't. Everything I've already explained.
No,
10 minutes
no,
before.
fight for you. I don't understand. I did call my lawyer. I was very upset that she was pushed to that limit because I believed it. And, in fact, none of it had happened. She threw the large bottle, and it made contact and shattered everywhere.
How big a piece of skin are you looking for?
We're looking at this. We're looking at like a third of the I just need to know. You can tell, but I mean, he said it's
About a year later, Johnny's situation worsens. His relationship with Amber is as toxic as ever. Career and finances are in shambles. In addition to that, his mother, Betty Sue, is in a tough battle with cancer. Then comes April 21st, 2016. Johnny was at a business meeting to get his finances back in order, causing him to be late to Amber's 30th birthday party at the Penthouse, which infuriates Amber.
A means for me to say, hey, I'm not going to bite your head off if you come here. Please just don't flake on my birthday party. Either way.
You were upset that Mr. Depp was late to your 30th birthday, weren't you?
I was.
What happened after the guests left the party?
She was free to commence the usual verbal barrage. At that point, there was so much in my head from the meeting. She was well informed that I was in an intense meeting that had a lot to do with not just my life and my future, but my children's. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if houses were going to start going away. I got into bed. I remember the television was on. She entered the bedroom trying to poke at me and get me to react, rattling off all the wrongs I'd done to her in that particular day and how unreliable I am. And I did not engage. And she didn't get a jump out of me or a jolt out of me. She got out of bed. She came to my side.
Because I left you because you fucking haymakered me, man. You came around the bed and fucking start punching on me. Why?
You've got a person who is throwing multiple shots at your face, at your head, at your neck, at anything she could hit. So I got up out of bed and I grabbed her by the shoulders and I sat her down on the bed and I said, I'm leaving. Please don't get off the bed. Please don't follow me. Please don't try and stop me. I'm leaving. And she got up off the bed and she squared off at me in the doorway of our bedroom. And I said, what do you want to do? Hit me again? Would you like to hit me again? And I said, go ahead. Hit me. Bam. And then I just said, is that what you wanted? Would you like another? Bam. There's the second one. And I said, good. Now you're done. Grabbed her by the shoulders, walked her to the bed, sat her down, and said, don't follow me. Leave me alone. I'm out. I'm gone.
Next day, Amber would go to Coachella with her friends. Knowing that Amber left for the music festival with her friends, Johnny decides to take advantage of her absence to go pick up items that are important to him from the Penthouse.
I had gone to Mr. Beck and said, she's at Coachella. I think it's a good time to go downtown so that I can get some of my things, and get them out of there, especially the things that were precious to me, children things from friends. And he said, I don't think now's a good time to go. And I thought, it's the perfect time. She's not going to be home for 2 days. And then he showed me a photograph on his telephone. It's a photograph of the bed, our bed, and on my side of the bed, was human fecal matter.
One month later, on May 20th, 2016, Betty Sue, Johnny's mother, passes away at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center from cancer.
When those you love leave, we're the ones stuck with the pain, with the grieving.
could tell he was, very sad, and he was mourning. And so I just left him alone until he needed me for whatever I had to do for him that day.
I had made peace with Betty Sue because I understood where she came from, and I understood how difficult her childhood was, and I understood that she had not had the proper training or proper teaching or the proper background to be anything other than what she had been when we were younger. I forgave her for all that, as one should. But I was glad that my kids got to see her and give her send-off, I suppose. But it was, it opened my eyes quite a lot to a number of things.
What were some of those things that your mother's death opened your eyes to?
That life is a bird song. That what feels like 100 years is in fact a second, millisecond.
So let me go, and you go, and I'll speak to you in a couple hours, okay?
Stop. Okay.
Why are you saying stop? May I go?
Please, it causes me so much stress when you leave, when you walk away from me with that. It's like you don't understand how much worse you're making this.
I haven't walked away. You're not saying goodbye. You won't let me fucking leave. Let me leave.
Abandonment and having him leave was her worst nightmare. The second one is what she reported to me, which is if he was going to leave her to de-escalate from the fight, she would strike him to keep him there. She would rather be in a fight than have him leave.
But this is not love. This is not happiness. This is not...
I'm gonna die.
It opened my eyes to the fact that, yes, try in relationships. Try your best. If you're going to get out of it, if you're going to make an end, which somebody had to call it, and I decided that I would call Amber and tell her that my mom had died that day. And then I calmly said, look, I've made a decision, and I think it's the best thing. I'm going to file for divorce.
Then comes the important date of May 21st, 2016, one day after Johnny's mother, Betty Sue, died, and the last day Amber would see Johnny for the next few months. Johnny goes to the penthouse to pick up the sentimental items that he was going to pick up on April 22nd when Amber was at Coachella a month prior, before he was informed about the fecal fiasco.
So you were working on May 21st?
I was.
Did you end up taking Mr. Depp to the penthouses at Eastern Columbia Building?
I did, and Mr. Judge was along with me as well.
The trial reveals that Amber wanted to talk things through with Johnny at the penthouse that day, so Johnny requested that Jerry Judge and Sean Bett accompany him as a precautionary measure in case things escalate with Amber.
We made a plan for him to come over during the day, thinking that might mitigate the amount that he would be drinking. Night is a little bit more dangerous.
Did you enter the penthouses with Mr. Depp?
I did, myself and Jerry Judge and Mr. Depp. When we first walked in on the center island in the kitchen, there were candles lit, wine glasses that were empty, and there was a bottle of wine that was open. There was also music playing in the background through the speakers.
Did you see Miss Heard when you first entered the penthouse?
I did.
Did you stay inside the penthouse with Mr. Judge and Mr. Depp?
No, shortly thereafter, Mr. Judge and I exited the penthouse and stood outside the door.
So I had them waiting by the door. I had asked them pay particular attention. If anything was going to start to escalate, I did not want to be there. Because if you hear anything, if you hear screaming, you got to get in there. So leave the door unlocked.
It makes me far more stressed and far more angry when you take off. You use it to hurt me. It's a tool now that you use. You can't act like you don't do it knowing it's going to make me mad.
I'm not. It's not to get you mad. It's just to get out of a bad situation while it's happening before it gets worse.
Johnny reveals that while inside with Amber, she tries to explain away the fecal matter on the bed to him and called I.O. Tillett Wright on the phone to attest that it's the Yorkie that did it.
I called my friend thinking that it would quell this, what I could only see as a delusion. I thought it was just a delusion he was having, and I thought, oh, I'll
So I thought if I could get my friend on the phone to prove that this didn't happen, we could move on and talk about the issues that we should be talking about. You know, our marriage was over and falling apart in front of our eyes. We hadn't seen each other for a month, and his mom had just passed. I couldn't believe he wanted to talk about feces.
She was riled, of course, and I went upstairs. When I came back downstairs, she was on the phone with Io Tillett Wright, and they were making a wonderful point of just how funny it was that I thought that some human being had actually dropped a grumpy, pardon the term, onto the bed, and they were yucking it up. They were laughing about the whole thing, and it was you know, it was a tough couple of days. I went over and I said, let me talk to her. I grabbed the phone and I said to Io, you can have her now. She's yours. She's all yours. And then I took the phone, I flopped it onto the couch, and I was walking towards the exit, and then suddenly Rocky Pennington ran in to the penthouse. Leave her alone, Johnny, leave her alone. I was by the refrigerator at this point. I was 20 feet away.
Where was Miss Heard at that time?
She was still sitting on the couch.
What's the first thing you remember, Miss Pennington, when you entered the penthouse?
Just hearing them. I don't remember what they were saying, but it was verbal argument.
Do you know where Mr. Depp was standing?
Yes.
Where was he?
Sort of like the entry, like the in-between from the kitchen to the living room.
And where was Miss Heard?
On the other side of the living room.
Did you see Mr. Depp touch Miss Heard?
I didn't see him touch her.
With that, picks up, just pulls his arm back with the phone and throws it at my face. Hit me right in it felt like my eye. I said, you hit me with the phone. Johnny, you hit me.
If you're stuck in throwing punches.
I'm not talking about throwing punches. I'm talking about an argument.
Right. In arguments, you tend to throw punches.
I'm talking about arguments. I'm not talking about the times when it's got physical. I'm talking about arguments. I'm talking about arguments. I'm talking about arguments.
Yes, in our arguments.
Earlier and earlier and earlier. Now you split. You take off right away. You don't deal with the issue. You don't deal with the confrontation, and you split.
Gesture around my face to try to expose my face to him, and he was like, yeah, let me see how bad I hurt you. Let me see it. Let me see how bad I hurt you this time. What if I pull your hair back? What if I pull your hair back? And I just remember this mocking taunt he was doing with me as he is yanking me around the room. And then I hear my friend come into the room. I hear her. Johnny moved towards her, and she ran towards me. Johnny looked at her, looked at me. I retreated to the only place I had to go, which is the corner of the room where the couch was. I retreated kind of to the couch, and Raquel and Johnny both ran up to me. Raquel got in front of Johnny. She kind of managed to get right in front of him, in between he and I, put both of her arms, her hands up like this, and like I've seen people do with horses. That's what it reminded me of. She just went, no, Johnny, no. And she just got in front of us, in between us, put both of her palms out. Johnny kind of squared off to her, ran into her. He hit both of her arms off of his chest like that and barreled towards me.
Did you ever witness Mr. Depp throw anything at Miss Heard?
No.
Did you ever witness Miss Depp kick Miss Heard?
No.
Did you ever see Mr. Depp physically injure Miss Heard, cause her an injury?
I didn't see it.
At some point, Mr. Depp's security team came in. Is that correct?
Correct.
And that was Jerry Judge and Sean Beth?
Yes.
Once Mr. Judge and I rounded that corner and she saw both Jerry and I, she had this look of surprise on her face, and then she looked at Mr. Depp and us, and she shouted out loud, this is the last time you do this to me. At which point Mr. Depp looked at her and said, what the hell are you talking about? At that point, Mr. Judge tapped Mr. Depp on the arm and told him, boss, let's leave.
She's still got Io on the phone. She's got Rocky there. Stop hitting me, Johnny, she's screaming in her best freaked out, upset voice, high-pitched. Stop hitting me, stop hitting me. Jerry Judge and Sean Bett entered the room, and as they entered the room, she was quite surprised to see them. She said, "That's the last time you'll ever hit me. That's the last time you'll ever do that to me." And again, I'm a good 20 feet away by the fridge. And then Jerry said, "Boss, I think we should just leave." And then we left. That was the last time I saw Miss Heard.
What else happened when you first met with your brother on the morning of the 21st when you were talking about going to the funeral home?
He had gone down to the penthouse to pick up some of his stuff because he was going to be leaving, to go on tour.
Did you meet with him at his Sweetser house or at the ECB?
No, I went to the Sweetser house. I went to go see if he was going to go with us. I got there. He was upset because they were fighting. I got upset.
Why were you upset?
We had just lost our mom the day before. So I feel like that, there might be the need for a little compassion, no fighting on that day.
Later that day, 2 police units show up to the penthouse at different times. They were called by Amber's friend, Io Tillett Wright, who was in New York.
Io said something to me on speakerphone, reminded me I wasn't safe. Io said, "Amber, get out of the house. Get out of the house now. You're not safe. Get out of that house."
Here, the officers are checking in on the friends and Amber, who were gathered at one of Johnny's penthouses.
One of you guys know someone in New York or something?
Yeah, she probably called us.
Okay. Well, whoever it is, I'm just about, you just gotta check on them, make sure they're okay.
I'll go get the business card from the cops.
Yeah, I don't know, just got another call and we came again, we still gotta make sure.
You don't think
Can we just come in and just check? We need to make sure everybody in here is okay, and then we. I don't know if she called Wes or whoever called, but we just got another notification. So we just need to come in and make sure that everybody's okay. They're all good.
The other officers came by and checked the apartment and the other apartment as well.
Yeah.
It must have been like a double call.
So you had referred to your brothers having plans to go on tour that next week, obviously not knowing that his mother was going to pass.
Right.
What other formal events had been planned for that next week?
We had the premiere for Alice. Mom passed on Friday, and the premiere was Monday night.
Smile, Johnny. There's a smile. Smile.
Johnny, right here. You have a smile right there, Johnny. You have a smile. Right. All the way right. Yeah, right.
The officers who testified from both units confirm not seeing any of the facial bruises that will appear on Amber a week later when she goes to court.
So in the hall, you met with a generic white male, Miss Heard, and the generic white male girlfriend. Is that right?
Yes.
And it was just those 3 folks?
Correct.
And you were there with your partner, Officer Haddon?
Correct.
In the hallway, how far were you standing from Miss Heard?
It was close, probably 2 to 5 feet.
And at that time, did you notice any injuries on Miss Heard?
I did not.
Were you looking to see if she had any injuries at that time?
Yes, I was.
During your investigation, you had other reasons to believe what was true.
That it was a verbal dispute. After discussing the investigation with my partner at the scene, Ms. Heard refused any medical treatment and had no visible injuries. There was no sign of struggle.
We just come in and just check. We need to make sure everybody in here is okay, and then we.
And Officer Gatlin from the 2nd Police Unit that visited the penthouse that day also confirms.
I believe the female that was sitting
in the middle of the three told us that everything was fine and that the other officers had already conducted an investigation on the incident prior to our arrival. And at the time, we did not observe any visible or verifiable injuries to her.
Immediately after the premiere, he had to get on a plane to go to New York to meet the band and go on to Europe.
While Johnny is away preparing for his tour, Amber's lawyers send a letter to Johnny's lawyers asking for $125,000, 3 luxury penthouses for Amber, including one that was occupied by Josh Drew and Rocky Pennington, a special edition Range Rover that was owned by Johnny. In addition to that, they ask for spousal support estimated at $50,000 per month after only 15 months of marriage. Johnny was given the deadline of May 27th. The letter seems to include a veiled extortion threat. It partially reads, Johnny Depp violently attacked and threatened Amber on May 21st in the penthouse. It claims that there are several witnesses, photographs of physical injuries on Amber, and continues to say Amber is afraid of Johnny and that she strongly insists on doing everything possible to keep this a personal matter out of the media spotlight, which is why she has not yet sought a domestic violence temporary restraining order. In it, Amber expresses the need for a quick, private, and amicable resolution and Johnny's immediate cooperation. The plot certainly thickens here, and questions ask themselves. Is this about safety or getting rich?
Everything's been a defensive move because I'm being called a liar and a gold digger. And I'm not lying about any of this, and I am not after a dime of your money.
Why would someone who is supposedly in fear of someone ask them for obscene amount of money and wealth in order not to advertise going to court to allege abuse? How does that solve the fear issue? And most importantly, why keeping it private or publicizing it was an integral component of the letter? The answers to that might be embedded in what happens afterwards. As Amber is waiting for the answer to the letter, for 2 days, she bombards Johnny with unanswered text messages, apologizing and begging him to answer, promising that she'd be calm if he talks to her. Amber came off as an impatient person waiting to hear the status of her demands. And in the last paragraph, she appears to gaslight Johnny about the deadline and her need for quick cooperation, saying, we can take as long or as quick as we want, and do this or undo this as we see fit. The extortion letter describes Amber as afraid of Johnny, but in her series of texts, she says she's willing to undo everything. All of this is taking place while Johnny's thousands of miles away.
We were rehearsing in New York, and then we played one show in New York as a warm-up gig, and then we started the shows in Europe. I was on the road from then, which was May, through July, August or something.
At one point in the process, when Amber was able to get Johnny to talk on the phone, there is this piece of bombshell recording where Amber seems to inadvertently reveal that she made up the accusations. She reveals that she was afraid his lawyer, Laura Wasser, would evict her and her friends from the penthouses.
Laura Wasser had proposed that I leave, not proposed, I'm sorry, said I would have to leave. I'd be kicked out, be evicted. So Rock and Josh and everybody evicted within 21 days.
Last time we spoke, I told you that you were fine. You stay there 2, 3, 4 months, whatever. Just figure it out. We'll figure it out. Be in your home.
21 days.
Be in your home.
No, I thought that too. And no, they told me 21 days. That is part of why this is the disconnect. This is the thing. Like, that's why I clicked, yes, seeking spousal support, because that's the only way I didn't waive the right to stay in my home. Every step I've had to make, but my hand is forced in it by really up aggressive moves made on your team's behalf. And now I've got to prove myself every step of the way, and it only hurts you.
During this call, Johnny can be heard trying to dissuade Amber from dragging him in public, saying that her tactics to achieve what she's after would hurt both of them, not just him.
Continuing through court is going to end up nothing but bad for you and for me. In any case, no matter whether we ruin each other or not, it's going to be heartbreaking. It's terrible. My boy has to go to school. My boy goes to school and has kids go, so your dad's a wife beater? You don't think about that, Amber.
In the full audio, Amber would proceed to gaslight Johnny about the steps she took and the letter her lawyer sent to his on her behalf, demanding the houses, money, and the Range Rover, saying that the only reason she did it is because she was pushed by his lawyers to do that and that she doesn't want a dime of his money.
Everything's been a defensive move because I'm being called a liar and a gold digger. And I'm not lying about any of this. And I am not after a dime of your money.
Despite demanding luxury houses, obscene amounts of money, and a Range Rover edition that's estimated at over $150,000, Amber insists that she's not after Johnny's money. When all fails, and Johnny tells her that he's the actual victim, she dares him to go to court and see if he's going to be believed because he's a man who's bigger and stronger.
But I don't say finger, man. Come on. A can of mineral spirits thrown at my nose.
You can please tell people that it was a fair fight and see what the jury and judge think. Tell the world, Johnny. Tell them, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp, man, I'm a victim too of domestic violence, and yes. I know it's a fair fight. And see how many people believe or side with you.
It doesn't matter if it's a fair fight.
Exactly, because you're bigger and you're stronger. And so when I say.
During this call, Amber paints a grim picture of what it would be like in court for him.
It would be eyewitness statements. It would be evidence, tons of it, and it would be through years.
Then, in a strange tactic that seems to be designed to scare Johnny into paying up, Amber tells him that no one is going to believe that the selfies she takes with marks on her face are from participating in a secret fight club or from using movie industry makeup.
And it would be unbelievable to imagine that either I'm in A, secret fight club, or B, I've had
a secret what?
I've had a secret fight club, or that I have been plotting to do this for 3 years, and while taking pictures of it and documenting it, just saving it up for the right time when I'm not asking for any money and have nothing financial to gain from it. But no one is going to believe that. No one is going to believe that one of the two alternatives, either I'm in a fight club, or I've been going through hair and makeup, or going through makeup through all these years where I have cooperating.
She tells him that no one is going to believe that she's been plotting that for years, and that she has texts between her and friends and family that prove he is the cause of those marks. Amber is partially correct. The strange Fight Club argument wasn't used to defend Johnny from her allegations. But the authenticity of the marks in the selfies rightfully comes into question in the trial, especially because those alleged bruises seem to appear and disappear at Amber's convenience, with major discrepancies according to the timeline and witnesses, including the multiple police officers who did that welfare check on her on May 21st when Io called them from New York.
And you know what, Amber? This is me. This is me saying, I tried. And thank you, and I will see you in court. You don't want to make nice? I'm trying. But you know what? I loved you for so many years, but you know what? You didn't exist. You don't exist. You're not there. You were a made-up thing in my head. And I can't believe you're doing this to me.
Then comes the letter deadline, May 27th. The letter demands have not been fulfilled by Johnny or his lawyers. After not seeing Johnny for 6 days, while he is in Europe on a months-long music tour, Amber shows up to court with bruises on her face, accompanied by her publicist, lawyers, and Rocky Pennington to get a no-notice emergency temporary domestic violence restraining order against Johnny, ordering him to stay 100 yards from her despite him being thousands of miles away.
Hey, Amber.
Amber, did Johnny give you that bruise on your face? Did Johnny beat you up?
Stop.
Did Johnny brutalize you?
Stop.
Amber?
You guys, she showed a lot of encouragement.
Are you okay, Amber? You look upset. How you doing?
She's going the wrong way. Get her through. Amber, how are you feeling?
Amber, are you going to go to the doctor? Are you okay? Are you going to go to the hospital, Amber?
No. Best of luck, Amber. Good job, Amber.
The media attention would mainly focus on the marks that seemed to appear on Amber's face 6 days after she saw Johnny, but they failed to mention her choice in clothing. Amber showed up in a black, loose dress, as if to say she quickly threw something on and ran out of the house to the safety of the court. In the majority of her paparazzi photos, Amber goes for a hip, youthful look. But during this day, she looked as if she was dressed by a movie costume designer to play an innocent, traditional housewife who is fed up with being battered.
What was your team of paparazzi supposed to do while they were at the Los Angeles courthouse on May 27th, 2016?
Their objective was to capture her leaving the courthouse, and then she was going to sort of stop and turn towards the camera to display the bruise on the right side of her face, the alleged bruise.
Morgan Tremaine, a former supervisor at the tabloid news site TMZ, reveals that he dispatched the paparazzis to the court that day after receiving a tip ahead of time. The tip includes that Amber would pose for them to capture the side of her face that shows the alleged bruise.
What was the first time you recall working on an assignment related to Ms. Heard?
I believe it was May 27th, 2016. Ms. Heard was filing a restraining order at a courthouse in downtown Los Angeles. So I dispatched camera people to that location.
Under what circumstances would you normally send paparazzi to a courthouse?
Only if we had been informed prior. It's not by any means a celebrity hotspot. We would only ever send people there if we had been tipped off that something was occurring and there was somebody present there.
And what footage was TMZ trying to capture at the LA courthouse on May 27th, 2016?
We were trying to capture Amber leaving the courthouse and an alleged bruise on the right side of her face.
What was your team of paparazzi supposed to do while they were at the Los Angeles courthouse on May 27th, 2016?
Their objective was to capture her leaving the courthouse, and then she was going to sort of stop and turn towards the camera to display the bruise on the right side of her face, the alleged bruise.
To discredit Morgan Tremaine, Amber's lawyer Elaine Bredenhoff's main retort was to say that he's seeking his 15 minutes of fame.
You know this case is being televised, right?
I am aware that there are cameras.
And so this gets you your 15 minutes of fame, doesn't
Objection, Your Honor. Argumentative.
I can ask that question. Oh, ruled.
So I stand to gain nothing from this. I'm actually putting myself kind of in the target of TMZ, a very litigious organization, and I'm not seeking any 15 minutes here. Though you're welcome to speculate. I could say the same thing by taking Amber Heard as a client for you.
These videos demonstrate that other news organizations may have been tipped off as well to go to court early in the morning, a location celebrities don't normally frequent.
He saw that she had gone to some court and there were paparazzi everywhere and her and a brown mark on her face.
This media frenzy would brand Johnny as a domestic abuser worldwide 1 week after his mother died. This day of May 27th was also the 17th birthday of Johnny's daughter Lily Rose and the release date of a $170 million Disney production of Alice Through the Looking Glass, in which Johnny is the main lead.
The 27th of May, which is, in fact, my daughter's birthday. Also happened to be the day that Alice in Wonderland 2, Through the Looking Glass, was opening, and that's the day that she chose to go to the courthouse and get a TRO, a temporary restraining order against me. But I was in Europe already at that point.
Were these two major events in Johnny's life factored in as the reason why May 27th was given as the deadline to satisfy the lofty demands of the letter? Was ruining May 27th for Johnny Amber's way of punishing him? Or was it all a mere coincidence?
The timing of this, it made me sick, actually. It really made me feel ill. It made me sad, frustrated. I don't.
Did Johnny attend the restraining order hearing?
No, he was not in town. He wasn't in the country.
The emergency restraining order by Amber is ex parte, meaning it is temporary in nature and it is done without providing the other party, Johnny in this case, with the opportunity to oppose. It stipulates that Johnny must stay 100 yards away from Amber, but he's halfway across the world on a months-long music tour. Why wait 6 days after seeing the alleged abuser to file the restraining order? If it was in fact urgent, why didn't Amber inform the two groups of police officers that Io sent to the penthouses on May 21st, the day she saw Johnny last? And who tipped off the sea of paparazzi that showed up to court that day? Amber claims she never tipped off TMZ, but she seems to slip up during a deposition about having alerted TMZ about the divorce filing.
Basically, I didn't want him to find out online that I had or was about to file, or I had already filed for divorce. I wanted him to know verbally. So I was trying to reach him through a third party to tell him. When I say reach, I'm specifically saying I would like him to know information coming from me or coming from Jerry, from me, so that he finds out about the divorce filing or my intention to do so from some other source other than TMZ, which was alerted. From some other source other than TMZ, which was alerted.
You slipped up there, didn't you, Miss Heard? You let it slip out that TMZ had been alerted to your filing of the domestic violence restraining order, didn't you?
I disagree. That's not what I'm talking about.
So TMZ was just lucky in getting the inside scoop to your divorce from Mr. Depp, huh?
I have no idea. That's not my area of expertise. I wouldn't even know how to do that. And also, what does that get me? If I wanted to leak things about Johnny, I could have done that in a much more successful way, in a bigger way, for years.
Not when you were extorting him for $7 million.
I got a fraction of what I was entitled to in the state of California, by the way.
In the trial, Amber would completely deny that she even knows how to alert the media of her moves. And in the same breath, she says she could have done it in a more successful way. Evidence suggests that Amber was trying to advertise May 27th. She even showed up to court accompanied with her publicist, Jody Gottlieb, whose job is to create narratives by communicating with media outlets.
You knew the press would be at the courthouse, right, Ms. Heard?
No.
Well, you did bring your publicist to the courthouse with you on May 27th, 2016, didn't you?
I sure did. I'm a public figure. I brought my publicist in case it blew up. In case.
You actually had alerted TMZ that you would be filing a TRO against Mr. Depp that very day, didn't you?
No, I did not.
The one day you didn't bother to wear makeup to cover up the mark on your face. And you heard Mr. Tremaine's testimony that he knew to dispatch the paparazzi to the courthouse on May 27th, right?
I heard him say that he knew that, yes.
Yeah, and that he dispatched paparazzi to the courthouse to capture a picture of an alleged bruise on the right side of your face. Do you remember him saying that?
I remember him saying that.
That information must have come from your team, right, Ms. Heard?
Absolutely not. Why would I want that? What actual survivor of domestic violence wants that?
When cross-examined about a video she secretly taped of Johnny that was sent to TMZ, Amber would contradict herself once again about leaking information to the media.
His testimony was, I'm sorry.
You heard Mr. Tremaine testify that the cabinet video was posted 15 minutes after TMZ received it, yes?
That's what I heard him say.
And that this could only have been possible if the video was received directly from the source, yes?
I heard him say that. I don't know if that's true or if that's possible because
And
it
you
didn't come
heard
from me. I was
Mr.
flying.
Tremaine
So
testify.
I know that's incorrect, is what I mean to say.
Another liar on the stand.
I just know that that's incorrect.
Right. And you heard Mr. Tremaine testify that TMZ owns the copyright to the cabinet video, right?
That's news to me.
The cabinet video you filmed of your then husband.
The copyright ownership of that is news to me. I learned that yesterday.
It's the cabinet video that you captured of your then husband, yes?
That is correct. I did capture that video, and
The
yes,
cabinet
that
video,
was my husband.
The same cabinet video that was released the night before you were deposed in your divorce, yes?
That's correct.
Okay. You must have also heard Mr. Tremaine testify that the version of the cabinet video that TMZ received was incomplete compared to the video the jury saw in this trial.
The video that you have seen is complete.
Right. But the one TMZ got the day before your deposition in the divorce was incomplete.
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
He testified that at the beginning portion of the video where you set up the camera, that wasn't included in the video that TMZ received.
I don't know what video TMZ
I'm talking
received.
about Mr. Tremaine's testimony, Ms. Hurd. Let's just
So
focus on Mr.
You're asking me to
Tremaine.
repeat his testimony?
No, I'm asking you if you recall hearing him say those words to this jury.
Yes,
Under oath.
I heard his testimony. We all did.
And he testified that the end of the video where you can be seen smirking, I know you testified earlier that you haven't been smirking in this trial, but you sure were caught on camera smirking in that video.
I disagree with that.
Was also not included in the TMZ video.
Everyone can watch that video and you can determine whether you think it's funny to me or not.
That's because the video came from you.
No, it did not.
You
That
edited
video
out
did
the
not
portions.
come to me.
You edited out the portions that made you look bad before sending it to TMZ.
You're very wrong about that.
So that
if I
only
wanted to
Mr.
leak
Depp
information, I
looked
could have
bad.
done it in a more effective way, a lot sooner and a lot more.
Because you
I
knew
was
exactly
living
how to
with
do
a
that,
mountain
right?
of this evidence. If I wanted to leak it, I could have done a lot more with it.
I thought you testified earlier in this trial that you didn't know how to leak things.
I
Remember
don't.
that? Right. You edited that video before you gave it to TMZ so that only Mr. Depp would look bad. Yes?
That's absurd.
Right in the middle of your divorce proceedings.
The best indicator of what the anonymous jury was thinking at this moment may be deduced from the skeptical faces of the people in the gallery. The timeline of Amber's moves proved to be a major hurdle in court for her. On the 21st of May, Amber took this selfie, which she claims are two different selfies, after Johnny allegedly assaulted her and left for New York. The rest of the week, witnesses that include Amber's neighbors, workers in the building, and the police that showed up on the 21st when Amber says she got the bruises from Johnny, all said they didn't see any bruise on her face. When Amber was asked in the trial to recall these officers' testimonies about May 21st, she attempted to create confusion by changing their words and what they testified to.
And you heard Officer Sines testify that she did not see any injuries on you that night, correct?
I heard her testify she did not consider this injured.
No. Miss Officer Sines testified that she met with you and she did not see any injuries on your face. Isn't that correct?
She did not consider this injury.
In the hallway, how far were you standing from Ms. Hurd?
It was close, probably 2 to 5 feet.
Did you notice any injuries on Ms. Hurd?
I did not.
Were you looking to see if she had any injuries at that time?
Yes, I was.
You sat in this courtroom while Officer Sines testified that she saw you the night of May 21, 2016, face to face, and didn't see any injuries on your face. Isn't that correct, Ms. Hurd?
I believe she was testifying about these photographs, and she said that I was not injured in them.
Is it your testimony under oath now that Officer Sines testified that she saw injuries on you when she saw you in person on May 21?
Sorry, let me clarify. I was testifying that I know that that's what Officer Sines said, that she didn't consider my red, puffy face injured. That's what she said.
It's just inconvenient for you that Officer Sines didn't see injuries on you on May 21, 2016.
It doesn't matter what's convenient for me.
Right. Officer Tyler Haddon also testified by deposition about being called to the Eastern Columbia building on May 21, 2016, and he also testified no injuries on your face on May 21, 2016. Isn't that correct?
They both said that they did not consider me injured.
Ms. Hurd refused any medical treatment and had no visible injuries. There was no sign of struggle.
They did not see injuries on your face on May 21, 2016. Isn't that what their testimony was?
What their testimony was is that they did not consider what my face looked like to be injury.
We did not observe any visible or verifiable injuries to her.
This is the same pattern that's recognized in the audios where she questions Johnny's memory, telling him he's delusional. What he saw happened is not really what happened, or what he heard is not actually what he heard, and that it's all in his mind.
You are accurate. No, your memory's accurate. Your memory's accurate. You got it now. Your memory's perfectly accurate. You're a fucking stand-up man. You fucking no. Oh, yeah, you're right. I did. So you know what? You're probably right. Your memory, Johnny, is probably spot on and perfect, comparable to mine.
Because she would deny having said those things. What are you talking about? You know, it was surreal.
What are you fucking talking about? I didn't fucking even have a fucking thing to lie about. What are you fucking talking about? Every fucking fight, there's a new thing that you've convinced yourself is a lie.
I said to you, Amber, tell Travis what you just did. Did you just fucking, did you punch me in the fucking jaw? Did you fucking kick? Did you? And you wouldn't say fucking, you said, I don't know what you're talking about. I never fucking.
The most nefarious example of this confusion tactic Amber seems to employ with Johnny, and in the trial, is when she was getting into the semantics of the difference between punching versus hitting to explain away assaulting him.
I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. I was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, even a lot of fights been around a long time. I know. Yeah.
Oh, when you fucking have a close.
You didn't get punched. You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not fucking deck you. I fucking was hitting you. I don't know what the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
She had completely denied things she'd said directly to my face in a heated and volatile way. So I went to her and I said, I'm going to record us because I want you to hear what you've said to me tomorrow.
I'm not sitting here bitching about it, am I? You are.
Oh,
that's the difference between me and you. You're a fucking baby.
Because you start physical fights?
Such a baby.
Because
Grow
you,
the fuck up,
because you start
Johnny.
physical fights?
I did start a physical fight.
Yeah, you did, so I had to get the fuck out of there.
Yes, you did. So you did the right thing, the big thing. You know what? You are admirable.
Now, Sarah, though, I want to go to you first. You saw Amber on the day she filed for divorce, 2 days after this alleged phone incident. Tell me what you saw.
Correct. I happen to live in the building where Amber Heard was living with Johnny Depp, and she currently continues to live. And although I don't like to talk about my neighbors on air, I do make an exception for justice.
Sara Azari, a lawyer who also lived in the Eastern Columbia building, went on Dr. Drew's TV show after Amber showed up to court to discuss the matter that transpired between the 21st and the 27th of May.
In this case, you know, she's had multiple contacts with various people who work in the building, face-to-face with no makeup on. I know that she did for a fact on Monday, the day she filed for divorce, and on Wednesday, 5 days after the incident, and 2 days before she sought the restraining order, and there were no marks on her face. Well, yeah, and you know, people say, well, why would she make this up? I think it's really clear. She's doing this for leverage in the divorce because in California, she's entitled to collect spousal support for half the length of her marriage. In this case, it's a 15-month marriage. I call it a long date, okay? So when you're talking about 8 months or so, give or take, of spousal support, she's trying to stretch this and milk this as much as possible.
How do you know that?
If Johnny Depp were to be convicted of domestic violence, the court could actually prolong the period of spousal support. What more motive do you need?
How long?
I think it's up to the judge's discretion.
Lisa.
Drew, you know, this is the kind of thinking that undermines domestic violence victims from coming forward. To say definitively, as Sarah just did, she's doing this to blackmail him, you don't know. None of us were there.
Lisa, I was there. I live there.
You lived there with Amber and Johnny? Really? You were behind closed doors with them during their marriage when they had arguments?
But I have firsthand knowledge. I have firsthand knowledge that the bruise wasn't there and suddenly appeared, voila, on Friday in time for her hearing.
You know,
come on.
On the right is lawyer Lisa Bloom, who would later work for convicted serial sexual assaulter Harvey Weinstein and reportedly advising him on how to destroy his victims. There was another event that can be verified that May 2016 week between when Amber last saw Johnny and walking into court with the publicist and the media. She was captured late at night, sneaking in actor James Franco to Johnny's penthouse on the 22nd of May, a day after she claims Johnny assaulted her. Franco and Amber can be seen here appearing to hide from the elevator cameras late at night. It's revealed that in the following day after the publicized court date, photos of Amber were captured joking and laughing with friends Rocky Pennington and Josh Drew. But in these paparazzi pictures, the facial bruise disappeared. Her choice in clothing this day reverted back to the hip look she tries to go for, not the look of the traditional wife that's married to a drunkard, abusive factory worker she portrayed in court the day before. Many questions emerge here. Were Rocky and Josh in on it? It came out in court that this couple submitted a statement in support of the restraining order. Were they promised some sort of monetary reward or a penthouse if the demands were met? It's revealed that Amber and Rocky Pennington are no longer friends, and Josh and Rocky are no longer partners. Did Amber cut them off after she later receives the massive settlement?
This is the person that burns bridges.
Seeing her today, do you still consider Miss Heard a friend?
I wouldn't consider her not a friend.
What does that mean?
We don't speak. We are not enemies.
Well, I just told Amber that, you know, I wish her well and I just have no interest in continuing a relationship.
When's the last time you spoke to her?
April of last year. April or May.
We didn't speak for about 2 years following my divorce. She reached out to me to make amends. I want to say about 2 months ago, letting me know that, you know, her and Raquel hadn't spoken in some time.
Did she mention anything about this lawsuit?
Not in the initial interaction. I think I waited about a week and a half before I responded, and before I could, I did get a note from her letting me know that she had tried to keep me out of it, but more than likely people were going to be contacting me.
I don't think these people were her friends anymore. Something else that's really important to note here is none of these people saw abuse. Not one.
You may have noticed that no one showed up for Miss Heard in this courtroom other than her sister. Every other witness who traveled to Virginia for her was a paid expert. This is a woman who burns bridges.